our story. This week we are in conversation with BJP General Secretary Ram Madhav, the man in the hot seat and the man who knows the inside story about the makeup and the breakup of the BJP-PDP alliance.
Thank you.
And you know, before meeting you, I was reading a couple of newspapers from the valley, and one of the headlines says that BJP says bye-bye to PDP from Delhi. Was that a good strategy? Mehbooba didn't know, you announced it at a huge press conference. Is this going to pay you long-term dividends?
This decision was taken after due deliberations in Delhi. Obviously, such a decision could have been taken only in Delhi. And we tried to reach out to Mehbooba ji also to convey our decision. For some reason, I could not talk to her before we handed over the letter or faxed the letter to Honorable Governor. But subsequently, we conveyed it to Mehbooba ji also.
But she's saying she got to know from the TV channels.
No, obviously, when my phone could not reach, through phone I could not reach her, and the letter went to Governor. Governor informed her. That's how she came to know about it.
But you know, given at a time, we'll talk about JNK, but just a bit on the BJP's ally strategy. At a time when allies say BJP is showing this big brother attitude, Uddhav Thackeray is upset, Nitish Kumar is upset, this kind of behavior doesn't go down well. It shows that you're not prepared, you're not following the right alliance dharma.
We followed the alliance dharma for the last 3 years fully. We extended all the support to Mehbooba ji's government. In fact, it's a PDP-BJP government. We have extended all the support from the center. Within the state also, the BJP has tried its best to cooperate with the alliance partner. So nobody can blame us on the question of coalition dharma. But you remember, nothing is above the dharma for the nation. When national interest comes into picture, sometimes we have to take certain decisions which could be construed as unpleasant, or some people may feel unhappy about it. But here, who would not have wanted the government to continue?
Correct.
I mean, for us, it's a question of losing one government. Yet, because the larger issue of the peace, progress and stability in Kashmir, and also larger issue of national integrity was in question.
What was the last straw?
Decision.
What made you take it? What was what you say the break point, the last straw?
No, one need not always talk in terms of that last straw on the camel's back. It can be successive instances, progressively how things unfolded in last couple of months that had led us
so walk
to
me
feel,
through a couple of these instances.
For example, we were asked to go in for this suspension of operations.
The ceasefire.
It was actually suspension of operations. People started calling it a ceasefire.
What is the
Some
difference?
of us were not very much in favor. Ceasefires happen between countries across the borders largely, mostly.
All right.
It's not as though two enemies are fighting on a regular basis, now suddenly stopped firing at each other.
Okay.
We were undertaking operations against the terrorists in Kashmir Valley. It was going on a regular basis. You have seen in the last 3 years, we have been able to successfully eliminate more than 600 terrorists in Kashmir Valley. Now, there was a suggestion that during the month of Ramadan, these operations should be given a halt, which is called suspension of operations. The Home Minister and Honorable Prime Minister both have agreed to this suggestion, and we have announced suspension of operations. We did it from a position of strength,
Right.
only to show our goodwill towards the people of Jammu and Kashmir, who had every right to celebrate follow the religious obligations during the month of Ramadan in a pious and peaceful atmosphere. But we expected some reciprocation, not necessarily from the terrorists. We didn't expect anything back from terrorists, but say from the separatist groups there, or from the political establishment there. Unfortunately, we didn't get any positive response. On the contrary, we have seen a rise in the terror incidents during that 1 month period, and terrorists were seen roaming around in towns and cities, which did not happen in last 3 years, at least under our rule. And the very fundamental rights of the people, like right to live, right to free speech, they were at stake. The killing of Shujat Bukhari is a classic example of how free speech was also at a huge stake in the state. Yet in such a scenario also, our partner wanted suspension of operations to continue. And when we said no, we have to now go after these elements again, we were branded as, muscular approach and all that.
That is my next question.
So then we felt that the gap between the two parties was increasing. Our partner was increasingly taking a political stance, which was not in tune with our thinking, because we were looking at the scenario from a larger perspective of peace in the state and larger national integrity.
But that did not get achieved. Last 3 years statistics shows your own Jammu and Kashmir Home Department that actually the killings have been on the rise as compared to the same period before the 3 years.
I am myself saying that we have killed more than 600 terrorists in last
both
3
sides.
years.
I am saying even casualties of the civilian sides.
So naturally there were retaliations, there were efforts to rouse the people's anger against the security forces. All that was happening. So what I am trying to say is, this was expected that terrorists would try and retaliate. But then state has a role, political establishment has a role to play. We had reasons to believe in the last few months that probably the state, namely the government in Jammu and Kashmir, was not playing its role fully for whatever reason. Maybe domestic political compulsions for our alliance partner. For us, our larger national concerns remain paramount. So in such a scenario, we thought that it's prudent on our part to hand over the state's administration to governor for some time. Let governor handle the situation.
Explain some time. What's going to happen? Is there going to be governor's rule, or is the assembly going to be dissolved?
No, right now the idea is that the assembly will remain in suspended animation for some time. And governor's rule will continue, and the four-pronged approach that we took when we came to power 3 years ago. One is to go after the terrorists and neutralize the last terrorist present in the valley. Number 2, deal sternly through legal instruments with the overground supporters of the terrorists. Number 3, try and reach out to as many sections as possible for a constructive dialogue, engagement with different sections. And number 4, focus on development, reaching its fruits of development to the last man in Jammu Kashmir. So this four-pronged approach will continue under governor's rule.
But third point is what I'm very interested in. Dialogue with whom? Dialogue with separatists, dialogue with across the border, because this is one of the demands that Mehbooba has been making with you for a long time.
No, we have, Home Minister has gone on record stating that we are ready to engage with every section of the Kashmiri society. But we have appointed an interlocutor. But my point, I come back to that point. Why was this 1 month period of suspension of operations, the goodwill gesture that government has shown, why was it not used for that purpose? And why did those who were demanding that you talk to them, why did they not do anything or do enough to initiate the process?
There's also one view that your alliance was really with Mufti Mohammad Saab and not his daughter. His daughter, much more mercurial. Do you feel that you actually now dealing with two different people? The alliance was not what you set out to do, but you went ahead to complete it anyway. Are there any regrets?
No two individuals are alike. Having said it, our alliance was with PDP. Who becomes its leader is not our choice, it's their choice.
But
yes, we have entered into alliance with Mufti Muhammad Saeed Sahab at the helm of affairs. It was a rocky start, you all know. Some of the initial statements that came out caused a huge controversy in the country, but we were able to settle down. We were able to understand each other and start running affairs in a coherent manner. But then came the sudden demise of Mufti Saab. I call it a major setback, initial setback for us. But after a gap of about 3-4 months, we restored the government under Mehboobaji's leadership. No doubt Mehbooba is a different kind of leader, but remember, Mehbooba is a leader with more than 20 years of political standing. She is a seasoned politician. She understands politics well. She understands her
but
party.
Her father
and
is really the statesman,
well.
and she is more of a mercurial leader rather than a statesman.
I don't go by these kind of descriptions. 20, with the experience that she has in Jammu Kashmir politics, she tried to work with us, and I should give my due credit to Mehbooba ji also. In the last 2 years, the BJP and PDP government, our ministers and their ministers and chief minister have been able to pull off a very smooth and coherent kind of relationship in last 2 years. You see, no alliance is easy. Look at some of our alliance partners in other states. I don't want to name these states. Every day I have to read an editorial abusing us. So, compare it with Jammu and Kashmir, the alliance has by and large been smooth and
that's
very
one way of
coherent.
looking at it. Huh?
But on the larger question of the main objective of containing terrorism in the state, establishing proper political dialogue, on that, our differences started growing in the last couple of months. A stage came where we decided it is no longer tenable for us to remain there.
This tenable word has really been picked up in the social media, saying there are a lot of other alliances that can become, untenable soon. And in that, Goa is mentioned, Maharashtra is mentioned, Bihar is mentioned, and even Nagaland is mentioned.
We might find more tenable alliances elsewhere. Who knows?
That means you are in the bargaining seat over here. But the timing of the pullout, exactly, is it because Amit Shah is scheduled to go to the valley and you all are going to celebrate Shyama Prakash Mukherjee's death anniversary on 23rd?
Well, you see, Priya, this timing question has no logic. Whenever I do, you may say this timing probably this has this reason, that reason.
Yeah.
Every decision has to come at some point in time. This decision came after due diligence, prudent understanding of the prevailing situation, no political considerations were involved, no electoral considerations were involved. When we discussed the matter, when we took it up with Honorable Prime Minister, Home Minister, President of the party, NSA, others within the party, with our group in the Jammu region, nowhere was the consideration electoral, nowhere was the consideration about politics. It was about larger interest of Jammu and Kashmir and also larger interest of the national integrity. Remember one thing, I am making a very important, profound statement here. We have left Jammu and Kashmir government. We have not left Jammu and Kashmir. We have a governor there who represents President of India, the entire country. Indian government led by Prime Minister Modi will extend all the support to the governor so that the four-pronged approach that I talked about is fully implemented in this state. We want to restore peace there.
Is this also one way of restoring the BJP's credibility in the valley by getting a governor whom the central rule will control over there? Are you trying to set the optics right for 2019? That's what all the editorials are about, that this is what the BJP is trying to do.
Look, governors are representatives of the president.
But we know how
is
it
the
works
first
on the ground.
First citizen. And the government is government of the people of 125 crore people of India. This government has the right to
in
guide,
the hands of
guide
a BJP
the affairs of the state. Now look,
party.
We have extended financial package of 80,000 crores. The government, in which we were also partners, could not spend 1/3 of it. Now rest of it, we have to spend under governor's rule. We will spend it for the development of all the 3 regions in the state. So governor is representative of the whole country. Don't look at everything from this political
all 3 regions
prism.
of the state. One of the issues with your alliance partner was not much was being spent in Jammu. We are told that's another reason why the BJP said let's snap alliance, because you are losing your base in Jammu without really winning any base in Srinagar. So is Jammu now going to be one of those privileged to make up for the pitfalls of the PDP?
Look, development has to happen in a very equitable manner. You cannot see the color of the people, language of those people and then spend money. It has to happen in an equitable manner. You are right when you say, we also hinted at it in our statement, that there is a sense of discrimination in regions like Jammu and Ladakh. Under governor's rule, that sense of discrimination will end. A very equitable manner, developmental activity will be undertaken. Huge scope for doing a lot of developmental activity. Developmental activity can address the question of alienation in the valley also. If there is alienation growing, which some people talk about, which is partly true also, I don't deny it fully.
But if you spend more in Jammu, the alienation will grow more in the valley. That's how it works.
That's why I said it's not about whether you spend more in some region, less in some region. It has to be in a very equitable manner. It will be in a very equitable manner.
We need to take a short break, but stay with us because this conversation is only going to get more interesting. Hello and welcome back to Cover Story. We are in conversation with BJP General Secretary Ram Madhav. In this governor's rule, you hinted at it again about this 4-point policy, and Mehbooba has also said that now they will adopt a more muscular policy, which is not what even Omar and Mehbooba talk about. They say the state of Jammu and Kashmir, in fact, Mehbooba's word is that it's not an enemy territory, it needs healing touch. So, will your policy win you hearts in the valley?
What is a muscular policy?
What is a muscular?
Allowing innocent policemen to be killed, keeping quiet, allowing people like Shujat Bukhari to be murdered in broad daylight, keeping quiet. If that is the soft approach, soft policy, we don't want that kind of a soft policy.
Do you regret amnesty to stone pelters?
We want, you see, when you talk about amnesty to stone pelters, you must remember, you must qualify it by saying, otherwise you are saying half truths. It's only to the first time stone pelters.
Yes.
First time stone pelters means somebody who is 12-year-old, 13-year-old, out of a group mentality, mob mentality, or out of some provocation. I'm only giving benefit of doubt. One may say, no, he is also equally anti-national. A 12-year, 13-year boy could be anti-national. I mean, it is anybody's guess. But those people were given amnesty. I fully accept the criticism about it. No, punish them. But the fact of the ground reality is, we file FIRs, within 12 hours, all the fellows get bail. They are out on the streets. They are already out on streets after committing the first pelting. But in last 2 years, they have not committed the second incident. Nobody who has done it twice is let free. Hundreds are in jails. Thousands of cases are filed against them.
Will you continue with this policy of sparing first-time offenders?
No, that was a decision taken once by the Mehbooba government. We had our reservations, but then at some point there was a suggestion that we should let it pass. So that decision was taken. But as far as security concerns are concerned, governor will take a prudent view, an appropriate view.
How long will governor's rule last? Because, it's technically 6 months. But people are saying then you will say it's so close to the general elections. Why don't we have it together, at the time of general elections?
We are for democratic activity to resume in this state. Governor's rule is not anti-democratic. But when a live assembly is there, it's only in suspended animation, and which has a tenure of another 2.5 years. From now, another 2.5 years of tenure is left for the assembly. If there is any other alternative arrangement is possible, if other parties think that it is possible to come together and form a government, we don't know what will happen.
But right now, both the parties have said we don't want to even try forming the government.
Let me first of all say that right now the priority for governor is to take forward the agenda of this 4-pronged approach and bring back normalcy in the state. Now, I know Congress party has said that no, we won't have anything to do with PDP. So, when we were having negotiations, every day Congress party was sending love letters to PDP. Don't enter into alliance with them. We are ready to support you. Let us try and form a government. But that time Mufti Muhammad Said took a principled position that my alliance with BJP is to bring Jammu and Valley together, closer. This emotional gulf has to be mitigated. That was the stand he took. So that time they were trying to form an alliance with PDP. Today they are saying, no, nothing to do with PDP. Let them have their own political considerations. I don't have to say anything about it. What they say today, as I said, 3 years ago they were saying something else.
So
today they are saying no. But who knows? They ran a government with PDP from 2002 to 2008 for 6 years. So how political developments take shape, I do not know. That is not, honestly speaking, the main consideration today. Main consideration is bringing back normalcy and allowing development to take place in the Jammu Kashmir state. We will see how things unfold.
Are you going to change the governor? His term is ending.
No, I am not competent to address that question.
Is it being considered, or you could say for continuity?
As I said, I am not competent to answer that question.
Okay, one question you are competent to answer is, why didn't you do business with the National Conference? Now, again, when you were looking for allies, BJP and National Conference have been partners before. Wouldn't he have made a more stable ally? Did you talk to him?
I said it yesterday that what we felt was Jammu and Kashmir needed governor's rule for some time for the things to again settle down and state to become more stable and developmental works to be kick-started again.
No, I'm talking originally.
That is our priority now.
Right now. Originally,
when you were considering any other arrangement now. About 2015, I don't want to go back into the history. There were efforts to bring NC and BJP also together, but you must remember we did not have enough numbers. Between NC and BJP together also we did not have numbers to form the government. So there were issues, so we could not come together.
Now, moving ahead a bit about, moving out of JNK, also the impact it will have on the rest of the country. You are saying that this hardline message that BJP wants to send, JNK, the valley will be seen as maybe a laboratory to, stoke up more nationalist elements, which is what we are expecting to see closer to the elections also. More and more polarization, more and more nationalistic feelings coming out, and that's the best place with you in control.
Totally wrong appreciation of the message.
Okay.
If there is any message, it's only one message out of this, that for BJP, the national interest of the people on Jammu and Kashmir is paramount, not its own government. That's the only message one should deduce from this. Otherwise, we are not looking at any other political or electoral message out of this decision.
See, you are also a man who handles a lot of states, and difficult states, if I may add, and where you've been in an alliance with everyone. Most of your states you managed to win by your various alliances and reaching out to people before polls, after polls. How are you going to see, what kind of a message does this send to your other alliance partners? In Andhra, say, for instance, will someone come to you saying, what the joke is, all the allies are now looking at their watches, ki agla press conference kab hoga? Now who are they going to break up with? This doesn't give a very message of stability.
No, I do understand the point that you are trying to make, but we have been running coalition governments in many states for last many years. As I said, even in Jammu Kashmir's case, we have followed our coalition dharma fully in the 3 years. Only when the situation reached a point where the tenability of our continuance in the government became, it's completely untenable, we cannot continue with this kind of an arrangement, then we took that decision. I'm sure our alliance partners in other states understand. In fact, they also have their own views on this coalition government in Jammu and Kashmir. They understand it. I don't think there is any negative message to other partners.
See, what is going to happen? See, for instance, in Bihar, your alliance partners already, saying, because there is a feeling that the Modi government is losing its sheen and allies are becoming more and more demanding. Is the BJP ready to, what we say, stoop to conquer? Maybe bend a little, not be so arrogant.
Look, as far as NDA alliance partners at the center and in states are concerned, we have huge respect for them. We are together in the government at the center or in a number of other states. Our effort will be to work together, continue to work together for a successful governance and all. We will try to win over more new alliance partners as and when time comes. It's all part of a strategy, and I'm sorry, strategy cannot be discussed in front of TV cameras.
Okay, I'll let you go, but last question. Next time you break up with an ally, will you first get in touch with them, or will they first have to monitor our TV shows? I'm very happy. Good TRPs for us.
No, you don't have to worry. There won't be any such hyping situations anymore.
So this is the end of the hype. Well, we wish you all the best in that state, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, the man of the moment himself. We enjoyed this conversation with Madhav. Thank you for watching this show.